I want you to feel it. I want you to taste it. I want you to understand what that energy is. I want you to hold it in your head. I want you to reach out and share it with your family. And then I want you to take it and I want to put it right here in your gut. And you hold on to that energy. That positive energy that you have, that ATPE members have. That kind of energy is what we need to change America. Does anybody in here believe that we can change America? There's something wrong in our country. There's something wrong in our state. I think G.R. Joss did a pretty good job of telling you all what that is. Well, I'm going to describe what that feeling is. That feeling is truly faith, family, and freedom. Now, we hear a bunch of politicians out there in both parties trying to define what faith, family, and freedom mean. They think they have the answer for you. Well, I don't think they do. I wish that they would come here, right now in this room, and feel the energy that you have, the positive energy. And you know why you have it? Because you care more about building up our community, about building up our state and our nation than anyone else in Texas, and that means the world. That's true. When you look at what we stand for, you look at our tenets, you look at the principles, you think about what we have built, in 31 years. And I'm telling you, there's not another group like us. I'm a very lucky man. I get to do two things. I get to hand out bumper stickers. And I get to be a cheerleader for the greatest group, probably, that I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And I'm telling you, there is something wrong in politics today. And you all know what it is. And we can do something about it. And the way we'll do it is just by being us. Just by being us. You've got to take that energy that you have because you're here with your other family. And you've got to use it day by day. And so when I was thinking about what I was going to say today, I was having a hard time because I was trying to think of something that would sort of give you an idea of what I think other people see when they see our group. They know that we're the professional group. They know that we mean what we say and we're going to do things in a collaborative way. But what I think really defines us, school teachers in Texas and in particular ATPE, is our resolve. We have a set of principles and we live those principles. We don't just talk about them, we live them. And so I was watching, I've been watching a new show. How many people have seen The Newsroom?
Yeah!
Okay, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I want to tell you what it is. It's a show on HBO. And what it's about is finally some people who work under the corporations that own our news now decide that they're going to have the real news. And in the very first episode, you have to watch the first episode if you ever watch this because it sets the whole thing up. The guy who is over the anchorman, he decides they're just going to do it the right way. So he goes to the anchorman and he tells him what he wants him to do. He wants him to do the news, not tell people what they want to hear, not play politics, but do the news. So it goes through this episode and they actually do it, and it scares the socks off of the corporate executives, okay? And so the last scene of the movie, in this show, has Sam Waterston, who plays this guy. And he is describing to this anchorman, he says, you know, we did it. And he says, you know how we did it? Because we decided to. Because we decided to. Say that with me.
Because we decided to.
That is our resolve. We mean it. We will stick by it till the end of time. And all these people can run around talking their political talk, and trashing public schools, and trashing America, and believing that only their faith and their family and their freedom are the only ones that matter. But guess what? We're still here, and we're going to be here. But we have got to take that resolve, and we've got to decide to do something with it. I want to talk about Teach the Vote. How many people have been on the Teach the Vote website? A perfect example of our resolve. As you know, ATPE does not endorse candidates. We don't tell you how to vote. We have tenets that set out the way that we are going to work with people in the political arena. And that bylaw specifically says we will encourage our individual members to participate in politics without telling them to vote. Well, our board, your board, our representatives in our democracy, who do an incredible job representing you at the state level. Well, after the last legislative session, they said enough. Enough. Their resolve button got pushed. And they said, we got to do something about this. And they came to us and they said, here's some money. We want you to have an impact in the next election. You know, and we looked around and we thought, man, look at the politics. How are we going to impact this election without telling people how to vote and without doing the things that other people do? And so we put our collective minds together and we came up with a product, Teach the Vote, that implements your resolve, that implements your tenets. Okay? It doesn't tell people how to vote. It tells people what the facts are. We use the truth. The truth is, we go out and survey every single one of them, no matter if they're going to win or lose. We ask them the same questions. We put their answers on the website. We go research everything we can find about them, including their voting records. And we put them on this website, and then we tell you guys, get on there and look. Tell people about it. We advertised it. We used it. And guess what? Out of all of the candidates that ATPE PAC, which is a separate entity from Teach the Vote, but they work hand in hand, of all the candidates in the primary that we contributed to, that you worked for, 60% of them won in the primary. Resolve works. Resolve works because it is the truth. And we're going to use the truth, and we're going to do it in the right way. Now I want to bring somebody up on the stage that absolutely exemplifies everything about Teach the Vote, about ATPE, and her name is Sue Melton. Now, there are very few people out there who exemplify the ideals, the principles of ATPE, Sue Melton. For those who know her, you already know that. You're going to get to know her because guess what? She won her election. Nobody believes she can win, y'all. I went to every education group and I begged them to give her money. All of us in the lobby team did. We said, oh, she can do it. And she believed she could do it. We believed she could do it. You believed she could do it. Nobody else did. So she took our small contributions and what she had, and she went to work. She worked. And she not only won her election, which includes 16 counties, 18, 21 counties in Texas. She not only won her election, she beat a former chair of the State Board of Education. But it wasn't just Sue who did it, right, Sue?
Right, exactly.
It was we. We did that. We believed, we contributed, we voted, we walked, we did what had to be done because we knew that Sue would do us right. So Sue, how did you do that?
Well, you're right. Nobody thought I could win. Nobody was willing to contribute, except for my ATPE family. And because you decided to join me in the fight, to put the focus back on the kids, back on the teachers, back on the classrooms, and you were willing to make phone calls, send emails, do block walking, whatever you chose to do. And because of the ATPE PAC contribution, we won.
it works. It works. And we're going to make it work because we have to. We cannot let political ideology from either side or any person overcome what we know is the most important. How many people in here believe, as I do, that public education is the bedrock of our democracy? I believe that. I know that you believe it because it is in your legislative positions and your bylaws. In order to maintain that bedrock and maintain our democracy, in my opinion, we're going to have to fight for it. I don't like to use the fight word that much, but guess what? It's time to fight. It's time to let people know that we still exist, that we can work and outwork anybody out there who has millions of dollars to give. What's wrong with politics today? Money. Greed. Greed is what's wrong. The real reality of it is, y'all, you saw what the issues are. The issues are easy. We have three. Funding, TRS, and what's the other one? Funding and TRS. We have two issues. Okay? And we got to do something about it. We got to do something about it. How we're going to do it is we're going to resolve to do it. Now, what's the real reality? The real reality of it is this. And you just have to know this or believe it. The Texas legislature, from the governor on down, has been bought. They are owned. You can look at the statistics. There is one group out of Houston, one group that gave over $7 million just in the primary. Okay? There's a group of people in this state who literally buy elections. Why is that happening? Because we let it happen. We're the people. Yeah, they have a lot of money. You know what they want to do? Guess what they've done since they've been in power? What we call them, by the way, in the legislature is the owner's box. That's what we call them. Because they like to sit up above the speaker's dais so everybody can see them every once in a while. This really is true. I see some of you looking, no, I can't do that. It's true. And so here's what they've done. They have privatized, so far, health and human services, information services, highways, prisons. There is now a plan to actually privatize the Capitol complex. And guess what's next?
Education.
Absolutely. You're half the budget. Your pension system and the per-student funding is an absolute billion-dollar deal for these guys. Now, I am not trying to cast them away. That they believe just as strongly in their way as we believe in our way. They happen to have a whole lot more resources than we do. But we can beat them. Sue Melton showed us the way. We can beat them because we care more than they do. They care about enriching themselves. Vouchers really is just a scheme for a billionaire to get his next billion. That's what it really comes down to. And it has all kinds of details around it and crazy stuff, but the truth of the matter is, what I've learned, what you already know because you taught me, is that the simplest answer is the answer. And the simple fact of the matter is, it is a scheme for people to make money off of public education and also have to pay less in taxes. Taking over your pension system is not about making you any more money. Having a 401k system as opposed to what you have now is not about giving you more freedom. That's how it's sold. That's not what it's about. What it's about is all those fees that are going to be generated from your accounts. And the people on Wall Street making more money. Let's just be honest about it. That's what it's about. So once we just decide that that's what it's about, then we have something we can define. And we don't have to listen to their rhetoric anymore. We can create our own. And our own is this. Yes, it's hard to live off a TRS pension, but it's a good system. And it's something we can rely on, and it's something we can use to promise the people who are going to come into the Texas public education system so that we'll keep them there. That's the truth. And we got to use that truth, and we've got to tell our folks that represent us that if they get their hands on our money, we're coming to get it. a runoff going on in their area? Somebody said the answer. We all have a runoff going on in that area. Because the U.S. Senate race has a runoff in both the Democratic primary and the Republican primary. We all should be voting on June 23rd all the way through to July 31st. July 23rd to July 31st. We all are going to be voting. Don't forget that. You choose who you want to vote for, but there are also some runoffs that are going on that really mean something for the state legislature. And we've really identified 3 of them. One's in San Antonio, Senator Jeff Wentworth's race. One's up in where Sue won, in House District 59. And one is Senator Bill Ratliff's son, who's running Bennett Ratliff, up in the Coppell area. And so we're going to have some folks probably come into your caucuses and identify the folks that are in those areas so we can tell you the importance of these elections and what they actually mean for these issues that we're talking about. I just wanted to make everybody aware that everybody has a runoff, everybody needs to be talking about it, everybody needs to be voting. In fact, 2 of the contenders for the Democratic nomination for the U.S. Senate will be here Monday, tomorrow, to speak with you in the afternoon. So I'm just going to end it with another movie that I've seen that I won't spoil for you. How many people have seen Act of Valor? Okay, well, if you want to feel good about and safe, feel good about being an American, that is a good movie to see. That's a violent movie. If you don't like violence, you shouldn't see it, because it's about war. But it's a movie about the Navy SEALs and what they do every day. Anytime they're asked, they drop what they're doing, jump on a plane, and go anywhere in the world to protect you. They will jump on a grenade to save their team. They will do whatever has to be done without fanfare, without ever being identified, just because they have the resolve to do it, because they decided to. And when I saw that movie, it made me feel great, because it made me feel safe to know that those guys are out there doing it. But it reminded me of you, because what they want when they come back, they want their family to still be there for them. They want their children to be getting a good education. They want to have the safety of their family to come back to. And that is what you provide for them. And I believe that every day, when you walk in that classroom, when you do your job, you are doing something just as important as what those Navy SEALs do for us every day. You are performing an act of valor. And at the end of the movie, it says, in valor, there is hope. Thank you very much. Now let's end it the right way. And I want to hear you this time. Okay? We're going to, who are we? ATPE.
DPE.
ATPE.